Well, here we are with the last week or so left of school. It's crazy to think that, as fast as the semester has gone. But anyway, I'm in my living room here, and I thought that I would just make this little introductory clip just to explain what my plans are for the video. I'm planning on showing you some of my tools that I use to create music, you know, like this piano. This is my gem. I've had this a few years. This is one of the last American-made Baldwins. It's a Model L, for anybody that knows or cares. But this has seen a lot of my emotions. I've written a lot of happy pieces, a lot of sad pieces, more melodies than lyrics. But I think that this course has taught me to be a better lyric writer, and I've learned a lot more, because previously, before, I would sit down and just play anything, you know, and just try to come up with some crazy idea on what the song was about. That usually didn't end too well for me. But after taking this course and realizing premises and antecedent and all those types of phrases and all the musical definitions, and I've known musical definitions, but this was more or less applied to the songwriting process. There's other definitions that I feel that, you know, are applied in music, but I feel that there's a certain category of vocabulary, if you will, for songwriting, which is what we've learned, and I will express that later in the video. But like I said, I'm going to show some of my tools that I use for songwriting, such as this. I have notes that I'd like to show on how I take notes for songwritings. I'll show you some places that I find inspiring in the music writing process, and I think that this class was a lot of fun, and to be honest, I'm going to miss it. But I did learn a lot of valuable points and lessons that I can apply in life. So stick around, and we'll take you to the next spot. Okay, so I have a couple of things that I laid out here. This is the song that we're going to get to a little bit later. It's not completely 100% there in my opinion, but what song is from a songwriter's perspective, right? But we'll get to that. Here, this was a song that I believe was either for the first or second Songwriters Lounge that I started, and I really liked it. And, you know, I slept on it, and I came back the next day, and I started to go over it, and I just was not sold on it. So I kind of pushed it off to the back burner, and I came out with, you know, the other song. But this, I might do something with this in the future. It's got pretty good bones, the way I look at it. Okay, I'm one of those people that as you go through the PowerPoints, I have to write things down to gain knowledge and get an understanding. So even if it was a review, I still wrote it down because it's always good to review. This was just some of the, you know, the tonic, subdominant, you know, that I'll express in the song a little bit later. See here, this was lesson 9 about metaphors and word painting. I pulled this one out because I really enjoy word painting, as I expressed earlier. Just more notes. I got a lot of notes here throughout, but this is what helped me throughout the semester, and will continue to help me throughout my life, really. So on to the next place. So here's the main tool that I use in the songwriting process. This is a 2000 Baldwin Model L, 6'3". I guess it'd be considered a parlor grand piano. It's not a grand and it's not a baby grand, but this was a graduation gift to me from my parents. My parents have always been extremely supportive of me. Supported the fact that I wanted to take piano lessons whenever I was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5. So anything that I ever really, as I progressed, I guess you could say, they were willing to help me out and get me quite a fine instrument. But this is a very inspiring instrument for me to play on because it has a good backstory, and it's got a lot of sentimental value. And whenever I play it, it feels to me that it's a little easier to write music and express my emotions on it. So this is my piano here, and this is one of the main tools that I use, but I will show you next, in the next video, the other tool that I used on a lot of the Songwriters Lounges. You'll see what that was done on. So off to the next place. Okay, so this is pretty much the second main tool that I use pretty much throughout the semester. What I would do is I would take my my original ideas and my concepts and all that I've applied, and I would not record them. I would perform them and get them all together on the big piano upstairs. From there, I would come down here. I would get them all polished up, and I would record them on here. And then from there, I would get my computer with the microphone set up, and I would play the background that I recorded previously, and I would sing into it. So I pretty much used this as far as the recording end of the semester. And it was just enough technology to keep me challenged because I'm not the most technologically advanced. But this worked out pretty well throughout the semester. Okay, now that you've seen a couple of instruments and tools that I use to compose music and to get my ideas out into the world and create lyrics and so forth, I'd like to show you a couple places that I find inspiration in to compose the music and to write the music and lyrics on tools such as these. So if you just hold on 1 second, we'll be right there. Here's one of the biggest places that I like to write music. I'm pretty big on nature, so anything that God created I find inspiration in, and Lake St. Clair is one of those places. I'm at the very point of South River Road where the Clinton River comes in. I'll have to go around this. This is where the Clinton River comes in to Lake St. Clair. And in the summertime, I'll be coming down here a lot with my boat, and I come usually out here, and I hook around that way, and I usually sit over there and anchor out, or I'll go over in that direction, and I'll anchor out and I'll write music. Like I said, I find inspiration this way, and just, I don't know, being out here in the warm sun and sitting off the back of the boat, I don't know, it just gives me inspiration. Not like today, it's pretty cold today. But the lake's calm, so that's a positive. But anyway, yeah, this just gives me inspiration. I find beauty in nature. So as I said before, I come from a very musical family. My dad is number 7 of 10 kids, and of those 10 kids, they all were singers. All of them had a very strong musical background. Now, being that my dad is number 7, and I tend to think that he's the better singer. Of course, that's going to come from his son. But either way, as you'll tell by the videos that I'm going to put on here, it's not hard to gain inspiration from this man. You know, he's supported me in all my musical needs over the years. I remember when I was either 4 or 5, or whenever I started piano lessons, I asked him, I go, Dad, I want to take piano lessons. You know, I was inspired to play the piano. And he said, okay. And about a week later, I had my first piano lesson. So any musical need like this piano or any type of thing musically, he was ready to support. There was never a no as far as anything musical from him. And I'm very thankful for that. My dad is a country music artist. He goes back and forth to Nashville. He has a lot of experience. He deals with a producer that is responsible for over 60 gold albums. So he's the real deal when it comes to music. So seeing him and growing up in this type of family, it's inspired me a lot to continue on with music and enjoy the musical process. You are my lady. You're all I'm living for. Let's make it last. Oh, to the end of time. You can't back it up. Preserve it true and brave. So as you can tell, my dad's a very musical man, phenomenal singer. Those were just some old clips that I have. I'm not allowed to release any of his country stuff yet because it's not ready to be released to the public yet. But as you can tell, he's very talented. And for some reason, I couldn't get those videos to like squish back together because they were taken long ways. And anyway, you get the point. It was just a way to express how I get my inspiration from, and I'm very fortunate to have grown up in such a musical family and to have such a talented father to look up to for inspiration. So I thought I'm very blessed for that.